Namaste, Dandavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 5, Frustration of the Sacrifice of Dakṣa. Text 1. Maitreya Uvacha Babho Bhavanya Nidhanam Prajapatir Asatkritaya Avamya Naradat Swaparshada Sainyam Chatad Advar Bubir Vidravitam Krodam Aparam Adhade. Maitreya said, when Lord Shiva heard from Narada that Sati, his wife, was now dead because of Prajapati Dakṣa's insult to her, and that his soldiers have been driven away by the Ribhu demigods, he became greatly angry. Purport. Lord Shiva understood that Sati, being the youngest daughter of Dakṣa, could present the case of Lord Shiva's purity of purpose and would thus be able to mitigate the misunderstanding between Dakṣa and himself. But such a compromise was not attained, and Sati was deliberately insulted by her father by not being received properly when she visited his house without being invited. Sati herself could have killed her father, Dakṣa, because she is personified material energy and has immense power to kill and create within this material universe. In the Brahma Samhita, her strength is described. She is capable of creating and dissolving many universes. But although she is so powerful, she acts under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as his shadow. It would not have been difficult for Sati to punish her father, but she thought that since she was his daughter, it was not proper for her to kill him. Thus she decided to give up her own body, which she had obtained from his, and Dakṣa did not even check her. When Sati passed away, giving up her body, the news was conveyed by Narada to Lord Shiva. Narada always carries the news of such events because he knows their import. When Lord Shiva heard that his chaste wife Sati was dead, he naturally became exceedingly angry. He also understood that Bhrigu Muni had created the Ribhu Deva demigods by uttering the mantras of the Yajur Veda, and that these demigods had driven away all of his soldiers who were present in the arena of sacrifice. Therefore, he wanted to reply to this insult, and thus he decided to kill Dakṣa because he was the cause of the death of Sati. Text 2. Krudha sudashtusta puta sadurjatir jatam tadidvani satogaruchisham utkritya rudra sahashohito satohito hasan gambira nado vishasarja tambuvi. Thus Lord Shiva, being extremely angry, pressed his lips with his teeth and immediately snatched from his head a strand of hair which blazed like electricity or fire. He stood up at once, laughing like a madman, and dashed the hair to the ground. Text 3. Tatotikayasthanuva sprishandivam sahasrabhahur Ganarukri Suryadrik Karaladam Strojvalad Agni Mordhaja Kapalamali Vividho Jatyayudhaha. A fearful black demon, as high as the sky and as bright as 3 suns combined, was thereby created. His teeth very fearful, and the hairs on his head burning like fire. He had thousands of arms equipped with various weapons, and he was garlanded with the heads of men. Text 4. Tam kim kramiti grantamaha Badhanjalim Bhagavan Bhutanata Daksham Sayagyam Jahi Madpatanam Tvam Agrani Rudra Bhatam Shakome. When that gigantic demon asked with folded hands, "What shall I do, my lord?" Lord Shiva, who is known as Bhutanath, directly ordered, "Because you are born from my body, you are the chief of all my associates. Therefore kill Dakṣa and his soldiers at the sacrifice." Purport. Here is the beginning of competition between Brahma Tejas and Shiva Tejas. By Brahma Tejas, Brahminical strength, Bhrigu Muni had created Ribu demigods who had driven away the soldiers of Lord Shiva stationed in the arena. When Lord Shiva heard that his soldiers had been driven away, he created the tall black demon Virabhadra to retaliate. There is sometimes a competition between the mode of goodness and the mode of ignorance. That is the way of material existence. Even when one is situated in the mode of goodness, there is very possibility that his position will be mixed with or attacked by the mode of passion or ignorance. That is the law of material nature. Although pure goodness, or Shuddha Sattva, is the basic principle in the spiritual world, pure manifestation of goodness is not possible in this material world. Thus, the struggle for existence between different material qualities is always present. This quarrel between Lord Shiva and Bhrigu Muni, centering around Prajapati Dakṣa, is the practical example of such competition between the different qualitative modes of material nature. Text 5. Agyapta evam kupitena manyuna sadeva devam parichakrame vibhum mene tadatmanam ashangaram hasa mahiyasam tatta sahasahishnum. Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, that black person was the personified anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was prepared to execute the orders of Lord Shiva. Thus, considering himself capable of coping with any power offered against him, he circumambulated Lord Shiva. Text 6. Anviyamana satu rudra parshadar Prisham nadadbhirvyan adatsu bharavam Udhyamya shulham chagad antakantakam Sampradravad goshana bhushanangri. Many other soldiers of Lord Shiva followed the fierce personality in a tumultuous uproar. He carried a great trident, fearful enough to kill even death, and on his legs he wore bangles which seemed to roar. Text 7. Atarvijo yagyamhana sadasya kakubhuricham prashamikshayarinum tamakim etat kute tadrajobud iti dvija patnyas chadadyu. At that time, all the persons assembled in the sacrificial arena, the priests, the chief of sacrificial performance, and the brahmanas and their wives, wondered where the darkness was coming from. Later they could understand that it was a dust storm, and all of them were full of anxiety. Text 8. Vatanavanti nahi shanti dasyava prachina barhir jivati hogradanda gavona kalyanta idam kotorajo loko duna kim pralhayaya kalpate. Conjecturing on the origin of the storm, they said, "There is no wind blowing, and no cows are passing. Nor is it possible that this dust storm could be raised by plunderers, for there is still the strong king Puri, who would punish them. Where is this dust storm blowing from? Is the dissolution of the planet now to occur?" Purport. Specifically significant in this verse is Prachina Barhir Jivati. The king of that part of the land was known as Barhi, and although he was old, he was still living, and he was a very strong ruler. Thus, there is no possibility of an invasion by thieves and plunderers. Indirectly, it is stated here that thieves, plunderers, rogues, and unwanted population can exist only in a state or kingdom where there is no strong ruler. When, in the name of justice, thieves are allowed liberty, the state and kingdom are disturbed by such plunderers and unwanted population. The dust storm created by the soldiers and assistants of Lord Shiva resembled the situation at the time of the dissolution of this world. When there is a need for the dissolution of material creation, this function is conducted by Lord Shiva. Therefore, the situation now created by him resembled the dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. Text 9. Prashuti Mishra Striha Udvigyachita Uchor Vipako Vrigyashaiva Tasya Yat Pasyanti Nam Duhitrinam Prajisa Sutam Satim Avadadhyavanangam. Prashuti, the wife of Dakṣa, along with the other women assembled, became very anxious and said, "This danger has been created by Dakṣa because of the death of Sati, who, even though completely innocent, quit her body as her sisters looked on." Purport. Prashuti, being a soft-hearted woman, could immediately understand that the imminent danger approaching was due to the impious activity of her hard-hearted Prajapati Dakṣa. He was so cruel that he would not have saved her youngest daughter, Sati, from the act of committing suicide in the presence of her sisters. Sati's mother could understand how much Sati had been pained by the insults of her father. Sati had been present along with the other daughters, and Dakṣa had purposely received all of them, but her, because she had happened to be the wife of Lord Shiva. This consideration convinced the wife of Dakṣa of the danger which was now ahead, and thus she knew that Dakṣa must be prepared to die for his heinous act. Text 10. Yastvanta vyukta jatta kalapa svashula sucharpita diggajendra vitatya nrityatyuditashtradhurdvajam uchattahasastana hitnubhinadik. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva's hair is scattered, and he pierces the rulers of the different directions with his trident. He laughs and dances proudly, scattering their hands like flags, as thunder scatters the clouds all over the world. Purport. Prashuti, who appreciated the power and strength of her son-in-law, Lord Shiva, is describing what he does at the time of dissolution. This description indicates that the strength of Lord Shiva is so great that Dakṣa's power could not be set in comparison to it. At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva, with his trident in hand, dances over the rulers of the different planets, and his hair scattered just as the clouds are scattered over all directions in order to plunge the different planets into incessant torrents of rain. In the last phase of dissolution, all the planets become inundated with water, and that inundation is caused by the dancing of Lord Shiva. This dance is called the Pralaya dance, or the dance of dissolution. Prashuti could understand the dangers ahead resulted not only from Dakṣa's having neglected her daughter, but also because of his neglecting the prestige and honor of Lord Shiva. Text 31. Amarasyatit patam asya tejisam Manhu plutam dur niriksham brukutya kartala damstrabir udastabhaganam Syatvasti kim kopayato vidhatu. The gigantic black man bared his fearful teeth. By the movements of his brows he scattered the luminaries all over the sky, and he covered them with his strong, piercing effulgence. Because of the misbehavior of Dakṣa, even Lord Brahma, Dakṣa's father, could not have been saved from the great exhibition of anger. And thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 12 on Monday. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All
Jai.
glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Nishinapali Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Pur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai,
Jai.
Ganga Mai, Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan, Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Shyam Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi, Bhakti Devi, Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Institute Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Bol, Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Jai Sripad Ananda Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai, Jai Srimati Umadev Vidasi Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Keshava Prabhu Ki Jai.
Jai Gurudev.
See you tomorrow.
Dhanyavad Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.